Hello, I'm Viney B, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Viney B's Homemaker Experience. I'm so glad that you decided to join me. Today, I will be sharing with you a whole wheat loaf bread or a whole wheat bread loaf recipe. And from the first time that I tried this recipe, I fell in love with it. It is a simple, easy, it's a simple, easy recipe to follow. And it doesn't take all day and all night to put it together. Having said that, let's go ahead and get started. Enjoy. The first thing we need to do is to proof the yeast. So to do that, we're going to add 1 1/4 cup of warm water, anywhere from 105 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. That is, if you're going to be using a thermometer to check your temperature. So you start with the 1 1/4 cup of warm water, and then 7 grams of yeast. All right, and to that we will add 1 tablespoon of honey. Now we'll just stir this, get this mixed. All right, now we'll just set this aside and allow it time so that it can bloom. And that'll take about 5 to 10 minutes. All right, next I have 2 3/4 cup of flour. That is whole wheat flour, to which I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. And the salt is optional, okay? But I'm going to put the teaspoon of salt in, and then I'm going to mix it into the flour just by hand. All right, and I'm going to create a little well in the middle. I'm going to push the flour up. All right, so now that the yeast has bloomed, we're going to add the oil. That's 1 tablespoon of olive oil. We're going to pour that into this well that we created. Okay. We've added 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and that's extra virgin olive oil, and then 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. And then the yeast mixture. Okay. We're going to mix this until the dough binds together into a soft, elastic mixture. And you will notice when it gets to that point. Let's stop for a minute and scrape down the sides. Okay, we'll start it back up again. Well, there it is. So now it's ready. See how stretchy it is? That's where you want it. All right, so now we'll just take it off of here. All right, so next, let's go ahead and coat the loaf pan with the cooking spray. And I'm gonna just slide this over so the oil doesn't get all over the place. All right, so now we just take our dough and put it into the loaf pan. And this is all the forming that you're going to have to do. You just spread it out. You know, it doesn't have to be exactly even, but I try to get it somewhat, you know, spread out into the pan. So now we're going to set it aside uncovered for 25 to 30 minutes to allow it to rise. All right, it has risen up to near the top of the loaf pan, as you can see. I have put a few slits along the top. Now it's ready to go into a 350-degree preheated oven for 35 minutes or until it is well browned and reaches an internal temperature of 200 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, into the oven. All right, here it is, fresh out of the oven. As you can see, it continued to rise as it baked in our 350-degree oven. Now, I'm going to let it rest for 10 minutes. While it's resting, I'm going to spread some butter over the top. All right, it has cooled for 10 minutes, and so we're going to go ahead and flip this out. There you go. And then we're going to let it finish cooling completely before I actually cut it. I'm just putting on the rest of this butter. And you don't have to do this. This is optional. I mean, this is just something that I do. All right, here's our whole wheat bread loaf, all cooled down, and let's go ahead and just slice right into this. I'm going to slice into it on the diagonal. Wow, is that beautiful or what? Look at that. Wonderful, wonderful. Just a little bit of effort and we've got this beautiful bread. Beautiful loaf of bread. There. Wonderful. Wow, it's beautiful. Look at this. Nice and soft. A whole wheat, 100% whole wheat loaf of bread that is nice and soft. All right, I'm back. And once again, I love this recipe and I believe you will love it too. Give it a try. Even if you have never made loaf bread before, I believe you will be able to prepare this loaf without any problem. Also, if you're a person that doesn't tolerate dairy products very well, or for whatever reason, you just don't like to consume dairy products, then this is the recipe for you. This recipe did not include any dairy whatsoever. Although I did put some butter on the top after it was baked, but that's totally optional. You do not have to do that. So try this recipe, and I do believe you will love it as much as I do. All right, well, this ends my video. Thank you so much for joining me. I pray that you enjoyed it and that you either saw or heard something that was beneficial to you. One more thing I want to ask you to remember: to click the like, thumbs up button. Also, subscribe to my channel. That is Viney B's Homemaker Experience, and share it with your family and friends. Remember to click the notification bell too, so that you will be alerted each time I upload a new video. Thank you again for joining me, and until next time, Goodbye.